When we think about the big names in bodybuilding, most of the time we picture athletes who started young, already with chiseled physiques and a destiny to dominate the stage. But John DeCola's story breaks that mold. It kicks off in 1960 inside a Massachusetts gym with a young guy whose only goal was to strengthen his back and fix an injury. At that point, he had no clue he was about to set foot on a path that would lead to a legendary career, inspiring generations to come. The gym environment was fresh, challenging, and, for John, totally captivating. Surrounded by people pushing their limits, he quickly got hooked on the world of iron. The weights, the bars, the grind. With every workout, it wasn't just his body changing. His mindset, confidence, and understanding of his own potential were leveling up too. That's when his first big chance showed up, the 1960 Mr. Athlete Boston YMCA. Picture this, a complete rookie, zero competition experience, standing next to guys who were more seasoned and already recognized in the scene. But John didn't flinch. He stepped on stage, gave it everything he had, and, to everyone's surprise, including his own, took first place. That win lit the fuse for a career nobody could have predicted. John later said they had to call his name several times to come get the trophy because he honestly didn't believe he'd won. And who hasn't doubted themselves before a huge challenge? After that first taste of victory, his ambitions started to shift. What began as a simple health goal turned into a burning desire to see just how far he could go. 4 years later, in 1964, he was back under the lights. This time at one of the most respected shows of the era, the Junior Mr. America. Not only did he compete, but he walked away as the overall winner, also snagging the Most Muscular Man award in his division. That victory put his name on the national map and proved his first success wasn't a fluke. It was the result of a powerful combo: daily discipline, constant learning, and the ability to believe in himself when hardly anyone else did. John was just getting started, but it was clear his future would be stacked with big wins and unforgettable moments. If his early years showed his raw talent and grit, the next decades would prove beyond doubt that John DeCola was destined for bodybuilding history. From the 1960s through the 1980s, he hit some of the sport's biggest stages, competing in both AAU and IFBB events, the two top organizations at the time. Every show was a new chance to push his limits and collect more titles. By 1963, just 3 years after his debut, John was already standing out in his region, taking home 2 major AU trophies, Mr. Atlantic Coast and Mr. New England. These weren't just decorations for his shelf, they were stepping stones toward national recognition. The guy who once trained just to help his back now stood as a model of strength and symmetry. In 1964, he doubled down. At Mr. Eastern America, he not only took the overall title, but also won the medium-tall class and most muscular. These weren't just wins. They showed his ability to peak perfectly, knowing exactly how to present the best version of his physique when it counted, a skill that separates good competitors from legends. 4 years later, in 1968, he placed second in the IFBB Mr. America medium class. While he didn't grab the top spot, that silver finish kept him firmly among the best in the country. And like any great story, that near miss only fueled the fire for what came next, arguably the highlight of his career. 1969 was unforgettable. While Arnold Schwarzenegger was winning the Mr. Universe, John DeCola was crowned overall champion at the IFBB Mr. America. That title placed his name alongside the sport's all-time greats, cementing his status as an elite athlete and proving that almost a decade of hard work had paid off. It was the peak of a chapter defined by discipline, laser focus, and flawless execution. And here's the kicker. Over the course of his career, he racked up more than 65 victories in different competitions. Looking at that trophy count, it's hard not to ask, what's the secret to staying competitive for decades? For John, it wasn't just training and diet. It was a deep, genuine passion for the sport. After winning the Mr. America title in 1969 and reaching a level most athletes never touch, John DeCola was at the very peak of his career. But the bodybuilding world was changing fast, and not necessarily for the better. By 1970, a new factor had begun to dominate the sport: the growing use of anabolic steroids. This shift in the competitive landscape forced John to face a tough decision, one that would shape the rest of his life. John had always valued hard work, discipline, and building his physique naturally. For him, every trophy was the result of daily dedication and respecting his own limits. But the truth was clear. If he wanted to keep winning, he'd have to adopt practices that went against everything he believed in. And that was a line he simply wasn't willing to cross. He knew that sticking to his principles might cost him future titles, but sacrificing his health or his values wasn't an option. His choice to retire, made right after his biggest win, shocked a lot of people. After all, how many athletes have the guts to walk away while they're still at the top? John admitted that if he had competed in 1970, he probably wouldn't have won, maybe not even placed among the top contenders. The scene was changing so quickly that it was impossible to compete on equal footing without using the tools he refused to touch. Beyond the physical side, there was also a deep psychological factor. John believed bodybuilding shouldn't cross the line where the pursuit of the perfect physique turned into pure narcissism. For him, lifting was always a tool for health, self-confidence, and discipline, not an end in itself. And at that point, he felt the sport was drifting away from its true purpose. Retirement didn't mean walking away from training or the healthy lifestyle he loved. In fact, John kept hitting the gym, helping others, and staying active. But by leaving the pro circuit, he made a conscious choice to live in alignment with his values, even if it meant letting go of more titles and the spotlight that came with them. For many athletes, retirement signals the end of an era and the start of a life far from the stage. For John, it was more like a strategic pause. Even away from competition, he stayed in great shape and kept his mind sharp. And eventually, that competitive spark came roaring back. It didn't take long before the pull of the stage brought him back, this time in the Masters divisions. His big return came in 1984 when he entered the Masters Mr. America in the 40-plus category. The result? A clean sweep. He not only won his division, but also took the overall title. That victory proved that, even after years away from the pro scene, the solid foundation he'd built over decades was still there, and stronger than ever. It was a reminder to everyone that experience and discipline can more than make up for age. After that, John kept training hard, but didn't rush back into constant competition. His goal wasn't to be on stage all the time, but to pick his moments wisely. That same strategy paid off in the early 2000s, when he shocked everyone again by winning 5 shows in the 60-plus category, including the prestigious Maryland State Championship. Once again, he proved age really is just a number. By the time he was 70, most people would have been enjoying a quiet life, far from intense physical challenges. But not John. In 2010, he stepped on stage once more for the USBF National Pro-Am Masters. And of course, he walked away with another win. That trophy wasn't just another addition to his collection. It was a symbol of what it means to persevere and keep believing in yourself, no matter your stage in life. These successful comebacks were even more meaningful because they showed that John never lost his passion for the sport. He trained smart, adjusting his methods and intensity to match his age and condition, but always with the same commitment he had in his youth. This ability to adapt was key to keeping his body stage ready for so many decades. John DeCola's name isn't just remembered for the titles he earned. It's remembered for the impact he left on bodybuilding as a whole. His dedication, integrity, and longevity in the sport earned him special honors, like in 2022 when he received the prestigious Vic Boff Highest Achievement Award from the Association of Old-Time Barbell and Strongmen. This award is reserved for those whose entire lives have been devoted to physical strength and the promotion of the sport, and John was recognized as someone who maintained not only his physique, but also his competitive spirit for decades. The recognition John earned over the years didn't just come in the form of trophies and certificates. He became a respected voice in the fitness media, gracing the covers and features of iconic magazines like Muscular Development and Strength and Health. These publications didn't just showcase his wins, they dove into his training methods and life philosophy, inspiring readers and athletes all over the world. John also shared his experiences and insights through interviews and shows like the Bodybuilding Legends podcast. In these conversations, he spoke openly about how the sport had evolved over the decades, from the physical differences between competitors in 1969 and 1970 to the adjustments in training and diet that come with aging. His perspective gave both seasoned pros and newcomers valuable lessons on longevity and smart training. One standout moment from these interviews was his recollection of serving as a judge at the 1970 Mr. Olympia. From that vantage point, he was able to observe some of the sport's greatest icons up close, analyzing how the athletes' physiques and stage presence reflected bodybuilding's rapid changes. For fans, it was a rare behind-the-scenes glimpse from someone who'd truly been there. He also spoke about training in legendary gyms, like Vince Gironda's, and working alongside names that would go on to become absolute legends in the sport. These stories weren't just fun throwbacks. They were lessons in how the right environment and mindset can directly shape an athlete's performance and success. Even after decades in the sport, John still lives by what he teaches. Now in his 70s, he trains every day, but with a smarter, more adaptable approach. The intensity and volume may not be what they were in his prime, but the discipline is as strong as ever. For him, weight training isn't just a phase of life. It's a lifelong commitment to health and quality of life. His current routine is simple and efficient. Workouts under an hour, focusing on just one muscle group per day. He always includes about 20 minutes of cardio to keep his heart strong and his conditioning sharp. But maybe the most important part of John's philosophy is why he trains. He believes bodybuilding should be about building health, energy, and overall well-being, not just chasing an impressive physique. Focusing only on aesthetics, he warns, can lead to excesses and even take you away from the true purpose of training. John likes to call his workouts his pressure valve. It's that daily moment when he can tune out the problems, melt away stress, and recharge his batteries. And it's not something reserved for athletes. Anyone can find balance and mental clarity through regular physical activity. John's legacy wasn't built solely under stage lights. Offstage, he's had just as big of an impact. Over the years, he's owned and managed gyms in both New England and the Mid-Atlantic region, offering not only top-notch equipment, but also an environment where people could learn, grow, and stay motivated. His hands-on experience and sharp eye for detail turned those gyms into real training schools. His resume is stacked: master certified in health and nutrition, certified personal trainer, contributing editor for health magazines, bodybuilding contest judge, and regional director for personal training and education. All of it shows that John never limited himself to training and competing. He's also dedicated himself to teaching, mentoring, and raising the bar for the sport. One of the most inspiring parts of his journey is his 50-plus-year friendship with Tessmer. More than just training partners, they're living proof that it's possible to age with strength and vitality. Their partnership has evolved into a mission to share knowledge on nutrition, exercise, and longevity with a wide and diverse audience. Together, they offer guidance on everything from supplementation and posture to mobility and rehab. Their goal is simple: help athletes, fitness enthusiasts, and everyday people of all ages build a more active, healthier, and balanced lifestyle. It's about more than muscle. It's about long-term quality of life. So, what did you think of John DeCola's inspiring journey? A story that started with the simple goal of easing back pain and grew into a legacy of titles, teachings, and a life lived by example. Now I want to hear from you. Which part of his journey motivated you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to read them. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button to support our work. It really helps the channel keep bringing you inspiring stories like this. And if you're not already part of our community, go ahead and subscribe, then ring the bell so you never miss new content. If you want to take it a step further, consider becoming a channel member for exclusive content. And don't go anywhere. On the end screen, you'll see another special video we think you'll love. Just click and keep binging with us. See you there.